Hey campers, George here. Another sharp and shiny from Ganzo Tools. They say nothing is impossible. Let's check it out. So here the knife is here, and this is the D727M, and it has the GR afterwards in the name because it's the green. I believe it comes in 4 different colors, and you can see just a straightforward folding knife. Now, originally when I looked at this and ordered it, I thought this was from the Ganzo budget guys, the Firebird series, but it's not. If you look at the box here, it just says Ganzo Tools on it. Nothing is impossible, and it's the black box. Nice box, very nice. The Firebird has the red on it and that sort of thing. This is not from that series. This is actually from Ganzo Tools. Just looking at it, for me, it looks like a really good size for me. I have those big wide grubbies and it's a good fit. Here's a quick look at it. We'll just have a quick look here so you can see what I'm talking about. Well made, very clean, nice handle. It's fairly thin. And one thing I do like that they do when you get a thin knife like this and the scales are really thin, typically they dig into you. Well, these guys, you can see they round off everything. So it makes it nice. It's a good feel. Now that I have it in my hand here, and by the way, this is not a flipper. As you can see, it does have the button lock on. I think it's called a button lock. And that releases it, the blade. It does have thumb studs on it. So this is not a flipper. This is just your regular pocket knife. I'm not particularly a flipper guy. I don't fidget or anything like that. For one, my thumb's too old and cranky to do that. What can I say? And I'm not very good at it. So I don't do that. For me, if I can open a knife one-handed like this and have no problem doing it, I'm good with that knife. Now, as you can see, it's not a small guy. It's it's a decent size. You can see it in my hand here. I've got those short little fingers, but always a good indicator is your fingers actually sit on your thumb pad here, and that means it fits your hand well. So this is doing a good job. You can see the handle shape there. It has that deep finger dip here. Very nice. You can feel it in there. It's going to take a lot for your hand to slip past that. Small choil on it, nothing like that. Just a flat grind, nice solid blade. Right away, I'm thinking work EDC. This is definitely a knife I could consider for work. The blade is D2, and it has the thumb studs and that. To release it, you just pull down on the button, and the blade drops right in there nicely. You close it off, and off you go to the races. Very nice knife, and it's got a little bit of weight to it. It looks sturdy, and that's why I'm thinking a work knife. And you can see how deep that clip is. Look how far it goes. Almost, it's past halfway, the length on the knife itself, and it is tied in there. You're not going to lose this. I got to tell you, some of the positions I get into, as old as I am, I still do that. And I pay for it. It's not going to drop out of my pocket and lose it very easily. Well made, looks well made. I'm not surprised from Ganzo. They do a good job. Even on the Firebird series, they're very well made. I think the main difference here is the steel. So let's have a closer look at it. So here it is here. The handle, you can see how it's checkered. You can hear that. Got a good grip to it. It's not slippery at all. It is G10 fiberglass. Very nice handle. I like those. I like the G10. It works for me. And of course it has the thumb studs here to open it up. Slide it open like that. It is fairly stiff on you, and it is ball bearings, I believe, that they use on it. I'm not sure about that, but it opens just fine. And for me, that's a plus. The problems I have with my thumb. The blade here does have jimping up there, and you can see it actually goes up, and look where it is on the blade. It's right at the end coming up against the handle, and that's because of this dip here. You're not going to choke up on this guy, and I'm not a choker. I like to hold it right there. That's good for me. And if you look, my thumb sits right there. And because of the angle of that jimping, they have that angle on the blade, gives you a fairly good grip. It's rounded off jimping. If you look at it, it's not very sticky, but it's going to help. That'll help your hand there from slipping or anything like that, give you a little bit more downward pressure when you're using the knife. A good thing, they have Ganzo on one side of the blade, just their logo, and what do they say here? Made by Ganzo, say hello to Mary. D727M D2 steel. And you can see that right there. And of course that logo, very nice, very plain. I'm not a big logo on the blade, anything on the blade actually. If it's small and not as obvious, I'm okay with it, not a big problem. So there's the basic look at it. Let's have a look at some of the dimensions. Like I said, it does have the button lock on it, and it's in there solid, not moving anywhere. So the handle, G10, this is the green model, I believe it comes. And Mary is showing some interest again. She's been out of sorts, not talking to me and staying away from the videos. So to release the blade, that button lock, you just pull back on it and you can see it drops down nicely and it closes up great. So closed, let's see how long this guy is. Like I said, it's not a small guy, that's for sure. And this is, I'm going to say 4 5/8 inches long. What that is in centimeters, have no idea. And there it is there, you can see it closed. By the way, that clip is reversible to the other side and it is tip up in your pocket. So be aware of that. It does have a lanyard hole in it. I think they all do. I don't really use a lanyard. The only time I do is if it's an outdoor knife, typically a fixed blade. I'll put a piece of bright 550 on it, and because I drop things, lose things, forget where I put them, and that little piece of bright 550 helps me find them again. What can I say? So, like I said, opening it up, you use your thumb stud, comes up nice and clean, and locks in there, not going anywhere. Let's see what that length is. And this makes it overall 8 1/8 is what I get it at. And let's have a look at the blade. So I'm going to look from there to the handle first, right to the front of the handle. I'm going to say just over 3.5 inches. So, that's from the tip right to the handle here. The working edge, the actual cutting edge length is 3 1/4 inches from the tip to the choil here. You can see the choil, it's very small, not very obvious. That would have been nice if it was a little bit deeper there for when you're sharpening and you have your ricasso there. It has a drop point. You can see it dropping off here, nice and clean. And the blade comes up to a very healthy point. You can see that. Now, this is D2 steel. They say it's very corrosion resistant. HRC rating 59 to 61. So it's fairly hard, which makes me wonder if it might be a little bit brittle. But, like I say, this is a knife designed to cut things. It's not a pry bar or anything like that. So remember that. No knife is, by the way. So there you are. And of course, I don't have a scale. One day when I hit the lottery, I'll buy myself a nice little scale and put it on here. They say 117 grams. What that is in ounces, yeah. Very nice knife. I like this blade. It's a really big, solid blade. It's got some thickness to it there. And of course, you can see how it comes to that very nice point on it there. You can see why. There's no false blade or anything like that on it. Just a nice, plain, flat grind blade. They say the base steel. Now, what they mean by base steel, I'm assuming everything is D2. So the frame probably is D2. I doubt if the screws in that are D2, but I didn't look very hard. They don't say that about it. I just wanted to get another sharp and shiny. What can I say? Is it sharp? Well, that's a good question. And I have a piece of paper. That's a good start. You can see it cuts Very nice. No problem there. So this is straight out of the box. You can't really complain about that. I'll give you a curve. I don't have any cardboard. For me at work, I cut a lot of cardboard, and I don't have a piece here, but I do have a piece of wood. Let's use this guy. It's that nasty piece of wood. You're ready to catch some pieces, and you can see, there you go. Did you get it? How about that one? That one. That one. You can see it cut into there, no problem. It's, you know, you good control on it. I can control it fairly well. As big as it is, I can control it reasonably well. So, you know, it's not a whittler. So there you have it there. And now I got it all dirty. Actually, now that I cut that wood, let's see how well it cuts the paper now. And yeah, we're still doing good. That's a good sign. I have come across knives. You do that the way they sharpen them and everything. They cut the piece of paper fine. You cut a piece of wood, you go back, it won't cut the paper. Well, it will cut it, but it's pretty ugly. So that did good. I'm okay with D2 steel. My favorite camp knife from Knives of Alaska is D2, and that thing has lasted me years and years, and I've had no problem with it. Not batting with it and things like that. Not hard or anything stupid, just, you know, preparing firewood and things. So, got to get all those wood pieces off. G10, like I said, G10 handle, very nice, has a good grip to it. So a nice knife. I actually like this knife, and I think this, if you're looking for a solid work knife that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, that reminds me, I paid that much for it, which is within my budget, which surprised me when I found out it wasn't the Firebird series, but the Ganzo Tool. So, hey, you know, they do have knives out there. Another thing I looked at was they have multi-tools. I'm thinking I might want to look at them. Fairly well priced. So, you know, if they're in my budget, I'm willing to have a look-see at it. Very nice. Fits my hand nice. I like the way this fits in my hand, and I do like this. This is nice, and that's something I need to think about when playing with my opinels and modifying them. Maybe I should be putting a nice deep thing in there. I don't know if you can with an opinel. You can always try. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Like I said, the clip, it is a tip up, and to release the braid, you just pull down on the button, it drops in there nicely, no problem. I thought I could maybe flick it out. Maybe if I pull on the button. Oh, yeah, it's too floppy then. It's not a flipper, it's a floppy. No, it's not designed for that. That's not what it's designed for. So, George trying things out that shouldn't work. But opening it, no problem. I don't have a problem with that. And, you know, like I said, my thumb and fingers are short. I have a big palm, and it closes just fine. And that's really what that button lock's all about. So, nice knife. I like this. It is fairly thin. Look at that. How thin is this guy? Just how thin is it? He says, I'm going to say 1/4 inch. Not bad. I wonder how that sits in your pocket. Let's check it out. So putting it in my pocket, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to just slide it in there. And you can see, if I move this, you can see how deep that sits. And like I said, that clip, it goes, it's a long clip. It's I want to say at half or over half of the length of the knife. You're not going to lose that pretty easy, and it's a pretty stiff clip. And of course reversible and tip up. So nice. Liking this knife. You know, when it comes to the price I paid for it, and you saw it, it was like $26. Makes me a little nervous on my budget. My limit, $30. So it was in there, and that's why I decided I wanted to have a look at it. I've looked at a couple of their knives. I looked at the Firebird series, and I really liked them. I thought they were well worth the money. This works for me. In the box, just like all the Ganzo stuff, the Firebird and the Ganzo Tool, all have the little bag, and look at that. That's the Firebird label. Interesting. Maybe it is a Firebird. I don't know. They don't say anything on here about Firebird. So what do I know? I just work here. And you know what? Sometimes I don't even do that. I don't work. This is not work for me. Whenever I'm playing with a sharp and shiny, looking at a new one, there's no way that that can be work. Just say. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. I got a couple of knives coming in. Hopefully one day I'll actually make enough money to maybe go a little bit out of my comfort zone on the budget side. I know most of you guys that watch my channel are like me, budget guy knives, pocket knife guys. You know, I understand that. Now, I don't care how much money I have. It's hard for me to justify paying some of the prices that are asked for on a folder. So, you know, that's just me. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys feel the same way. But some guys, whatever the cost, if they want it, they want it. And hey, all the more power to them. I wish. So, you will be safe out there, especially with these guys. These sharp and shinies, heavy knives, whether you're at work, around town, just carrying one in your pocket, outdoors, camping, whatever. Always remember, safety. Sharp and shiny, that's why we call them that. They shiny, and they sharp, and they sting when you don't pay attention. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.